Okay, so let's just get right into it. You know that feeling, right? We've all been there. You've got a plan, you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, but you just don't. You map out a healthy week and then find yourself ordering a burger, you block out time for that big project, and somehow the whole day just vanishes. It's like there's this constant war going on right inside your own head.
Sound familiar? I bet it does. That endless procrastination, that, zombie-like scrolling where hours just disappear. It's so frustrating, isn't it? I mean, you've got this supercomputer between your ears, maybe the most powerful thing in the known universe, and yet it feels like you can't even get it to listen to you. But here's the thing, and this is really important. It's not because you're lazy or weak-willed. Nope. What you're feeling is a real biological conflict that's hardwired right into your brain.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we gotta stop thinking about the brain as just one thing. It's not. A really great way to picture it is a rider on top of a giant elephant. Now the rider, that's your logical brain, your prefrontal cortex. It's the smart, evolved part that makes plans, thinks about consequences, the future. But the elephant? Oh, the elephant is a whole different beast. That's your limbic system. It's ancient, it's powerful, it's all about emotion and instinct. And it has been running the show for millions of years. It doesn't care about your 5-year plan, it just cares about how it feels right now.
So that brings us to our first section, the war inside your brain. And the big question is, why does the elephant win so often? Because let's be honest, it does. And this isn't just a cute metaphor, okay? This is biology. The rider might think they're in charge, holding the reins and all, but the elephant is just way, way more powerful. So that struggle you feel, it's not you failing. It's a literal battle between this brand new, logical part of your brain and an ancient, super strong survival machine.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The limbic system has veto power over your decisions. Think about that. Veto power. Your rider, your prefrontal cortex, can lay out the most perfect plan. It can say, okay, time to hit the gym. But if the elephant, your limbic system, is like, nah, couch and Netflix sound way better, it just slams down the veto. And guess who usually wins that argument? Yeah. That feeling right there, that's the very core of procrastination.
All right, next section. Hijacked by cheap dopamine. So we've got this Stone Age brain, right? But what is it about our high-tech world that makes our inner elephant go completely haywire? Well, it all comes down to one single, incredibly powerful chemical that it is always chasing.
And that chemical, of course, is dopamine. Now, we hear a lot about dopamine. A lot of people call it the pleasure chemical, but that's not quite right. It's more the motivation chemical. From an evolutionary standpoint, it was the currency for survival. Your brain would release a little hit of it as a reward for doing stuff that kept us alive. Finding food, especially high-calorie stuff, connecting with other people, accomplishing something. It was your brain's way of screaming, yes, that was good, do that again.
And here's the massive problem. We're running that Stone Age brain in a 21st century world. Back then, getting that dopamine hit took work, a lot of work. You wanted high-calorie food, you had to go hunt for it. You wanted social connection, you had to actually go interact with people. But now, you can get that same reward, that same chemical rush, just by tapping an app on your phone. We've basically created a world flooded with cheap dopamine. All of the reward with none of the effort.
And the result of being constantly flooded with this easy, cheap dopamine is a state that some people have started calling brain rot. You know exactly what this feels like. It's when you've been scrolling on your phone and you suddenly look up and have no idea how much time has passed. You're not even sure if you're hungry or tired. You're not thinking. You're not learning. You're just consuming. In that state, your rider has totally checked out. The prefrontal cortex is offline. And the elephant? It's just sitting there, mindlessly pulling a little slot machine lever over and over and over again.
Okay, so this all might sound a little bleak, right? But don't worry, because this brings us to the solution. Section 3, train your inner elephant. Here's the good news. You can't beat the elephant in a head-to-head fight. Sheer willpower is just not going to cut it. So the answer isn't to fight your impulses, it's to retrain them. It's about teaching that ancient, powerful part of your brain that the rider is actually on its side.
And the way forward isn't some life hack or clever shortcut. In fact, it's the exact opposite. The only real way to retrain your brain is to actually start to value doing hard things. Seriously, think about it like working out. You can't just wish yourself into shape, right? You have to show up and do the reps. And people who get really fit, they learn to actually enjoy the process, to value that feeling of effort. That's the mindset we need. We have to learn to love the burn in all parts of our life, not just the gym.
So where do you even begin? Well, you kind of have to turn it into a game. Pick something that feels difficult but you know is achievable. Like maybe the goal isn't go to the gym for an hour. Maybe it's just put on your gym clothes. That's it. And if that still feels too hard, make it even easier.
The whole point is to set the difficulty to a level where you can win. You just need to start stacking up some small, consistent wins, because every little win teaches your brain, hey, maybe effort actually feels good.
And what's actually going on in your brain when you do this? Well, there's this little part of your brain kind of nestled between the rider and the elephant, called the cingulate cortex. Think of it like the mediator, or the referee. And every single time you choose to do the slightly harder thing, the better thing, you are literally making that part of your brain stronger. It's a muscle. The first few reps are always the absolute hardest, but I promise you, it gets easier over time.
And that leads us to the ultimate goal here, Section 4, finding your flow state. This is where the rider and the elephant finally start working together. You've probably heard of a flow state. It's what athletes and artists talk about. It's that amazing feeling of being in the zone. All that internal conflict just melts away. The rider and the elephant are moving in the same direction in perfect sync. And it creates this incredible feeling of, well, of effortless focus.
So how do we get there? Step 1 is you have to understand your elephant. You have to get in touch with your emotions. And a really powerful, simple way to do this is with a journaling technique called the 3 R's. It's easy. First, recollect. Just write down the objective facts of your day. What happened? No feelings, just the facts. Then reflect. Go back over those facts and ask yourself, okay, how did that actually make me feel? And finally, respond. Now that you know how you feel, what's the plan? What are you going to do about it? It sounds simple, but this practice builds a ton of self-awareness.
The second key is regulating those emotions in the moment. Because when a big feeling like anger or anxiety hits, your elephant just takes over completely. But you have a secret weapon, your breath. It's like this amazing tool that connects your conscious mind with your subconscious mind. Get this, just by intentionally slowing down your breathing, taking some deep, slow breaths for just 90 seconds, you can literally calm the elephant down and hand the reins of control back over to your rational rider. 90 seconds, that's it.
Okay, last section. Let's call this your brain's user manual. Because look, all of these strategies we've talked about, they're great, but they only work if you've got a solid foundation in place. I mean, you wouldn't buy a Ferrari and then fill it with cheap gas and never change the oil, right? Your brain is so much more valuable than that, and it has some basic, non-negotiable needs.
And they're probably what you'd expect, but they are so important. Number 1, quality sleep. That's not optional, it's when your brain cleans itself out and sorts through your memories. Number 2, a healthy diet. Your brain is a fuel hog. It uses like 20% of your body's energy, so you have to give it good fuel, like foods rich in omega-3s. And finally, number 3, regular exercise. We're talking about movement that can be as effective as antidepressants for some people. It's that powerful.
So here's the bottom line. That conflict you feel in your head, it's real, but it is not a life sentence. You absolutely have the power to stop being just a passenger on this wild elephant ride and to start actually training your brain. You can make your rider stronger. You can learn to work with your elephant. You can build a mind that is your greatest ally, not your worst enemy. So, the only question left is, what are you going to choose to build today? What's that first small, difficult step you're going to take?